Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Bob with Southwest Michigan Sales LLC. Just wanted to let you know it is currently Tuesday, September 9th of 2025. This is a video that I thought would be helpful to anyone that is in the process of starting their business, have been doing their business for a while, and it's something that I have made a change in my own business that I feel will make a positive effect going forward. It's something that I've never done before, but it has made positive changes as far as listing. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it now, and we'll discuss what I'm talking about here. Okay, what I'm talking about is your listing procedures and how are you handling your inventory when you purchase that for resale to list on your own website, your own e-commerce site, or if you're on a marketplace such as Mercari, Facebook, eBay, and etc. When you buy your products, I'm just as guilty as probably most of you are, that I used to take the cream of the crop type products and list them first. So if I would purchase maybe 50 items in a day's out thrifting or a garage sales, as to say, I would take maybe 15 to 20 of the items and get them listed right away because they were the most valuable or the items that I thought would sell the best. I found that that is a bad way to conduct your business because you never know what the actual consumers may be looking for. Now, yes, it's true, you can check your sell-through rates on a lot of marketplaces, but there's more than just the sell-through rates as well. Time of the year, weather, location of your buyer. There's so many aspects to selling online that you have to keep in mind. What I found is I don't always pay attention to those sell-through rates, and there's items that I've definitely sold that have very low sell-through rates, and there's items that have very high sell-through rates that have also sit for a long time. Now, it depends on as well other factors such as your keywords you're using, possibly your photos. There's lots of different things that can affect that sell-through rate as well. I'm not going to really touch on that in this video, but one thing I do want to touch on is when I go out and I buy those items, what I do is, let's say for instance I went to a sale on July 1st, and then I went to a sale on July 10th, and then maybe a sale on July 20th, and I still have items sitting around from July 1st, that first sale that I went to. I'm going to work through all of those products first before I touch anything from July 10th or July 20th. The only exception, and I mean the only exception to that rule, would be if it's something that I've had listed previously. The photos are already there, the description is already there in my site, and it is a super quick, easy relist, then I will pull that item out and I will get that listed as soon as possible, which is generally within the next 2 to 3 days at max, to be honest with you. Now, what does that actually accomplish? That accomplishes not having so much dead stock or a death pile, as per to say, to be honest with you. You and I both know a lot of business owners, resellers, thrifters, whatever you want to call people that buy items and flip or sell on their own website. Generally, even a grocery store is a flipper of its own type of product. So that's what keeps the world going round. But what I've made for a change for my business is I no longer pull out the cream of the crop type items. I feel it is a bad business practice. It leads to a large death pile over time. It leads to money spent on an inventory that you're not recouping. It also takes, and when you're not doing this, it creates inventory that you're not excited about possibly listing. It may be more difficult, maybe more bulky, just not inventory that you're generally interested in listing. I found that when I take and I work on the oldest inventory first, sales tend to stay more stable because I'm not pulling out my cream of the crop type items to get them listed ASAP. I'm keeping them back and listing them in order of when they were purchased. That keeps customers coming back to your site or to your store if you are on a marketplace such as eBay or something like that, because you're not always listing your cream of your crop type items. You're listing a large variety of products, and generally you're not going to see those huge spikes or those huge declines in your sales because you're listing your cream of your crop type items all through the year instead of all at once or when you originally find those products. Now, how do I handle dead stock or a death pile inventory of items that I had bought years ago? As I've said in this channel before, I have a large amount of inventory in stock. A lot of this stuff, to be honest with you, is stuff that I bought 20 to 25 years plus, and it's been in storage for quite a while. What I've begun doing on that type of inventory is I will grab a tote or a box. Some of the items need cleaning because they've been stored away for so long. It's wrapped in really old newspaper, what have you. But what I will do is I will grab that tote or that box and I will list every single item in that tote or in that box without moving on to something different. What that does is it creates a broad array of products. Sorry about that, guys, that's my phone making a noise. But what that does is it creates a broad array of product line for your business, because I am guilty, just like you guys are, of judging your items, judging your products, thinking, okay, is this going to sell? Is this not going to sell? There has been so many items that I have set on that I truly did not think was going to sell, and people have proven me wrong over and over again. Let me give you a little bit of a quick scenario or a product that I was sitting on. I did not think it was going to sell. I had looked it up approximately 10 years ago, the last time I had seen it, let's put it that way. And what it was is some really old light switch covers. And they were from approximately the 1920s. The last time I had remembered actually even looking them up had been at least 10 plus years ago. There was not a lot of demand for them. There just wasn't a lot of value there. So I had them in a box behind me for months, honestly. I mean, they were there for probably a good 7 to 8 months. In that box as well, I had this little mouse. Looked like a stuffed animal or a toy type thing. I honestly thought that thing was worth maybe $2 at most. And when I finally decided to make this important change that I'm going to take and I'm going to list everything in that box, I'm not going to take and keep picking out the items that I think are the best. I'm going to list it all. I was pleasantly surprised. What I found that little mouse or that stuffed animal to be was an Avon Advent calendar. For the Avon Advent calendar, it was a little mouse that you move from like the first to the second to the third to the fourth and so on. And that was actually valued at over $40, and I sold that, I think it was like 3 days after I listed it. It was extremely quickly. The other thing was those light switch covers. I listed those for, I think it was around $25 or $30. I don't remember the exact value, but they also sold within, I think it was like 3 weeks to 4 weeks, and they were sold as well. Now, if I would have been still picking the cream of the crop type products, those items would have never, ever been listed. Even yet today, they probably still would not have been listed. So by making this change, it's forced me to list products that I may have set on, honestly. Give you, for instance, recently in one of my garage sale videos, you'll see that I bought a lot of ladies' side hair combs, barrettes, clips, different things like that. I didn't pay a lot for them, but after I bought them and I got them home, I was looking at them and I thought, this is going to be a lot of work figuring out exactly what is the value of these items. And I was like, I hope there's money to be made here for all the time and effort it's going to take me to figure this out. It didn't turn out bad. It didn't turn out quite like I wanted it to. I was hoping there was going to be some more bangers in there, but what did it do? It taught me a lesson. It taught me what do I look for when I go out there and I search for those products. Also, I got those items listed because they were bought farther back. instead of just putting them into my death pile or putting them back and not getting them listed. Currently, I'm on, I think, June 7th, 10th, something like that, for a date of the products that I'm currently listing that I had bought for this year. So I'm not horribly far back. I'm about 3 months or so back. I haven't went to a ton of sales this year, but the sales I went to, I did buy some things. As you guys seen in the videos, unfortunately, in the videos as well, I didn't always record every single purchase that I made. I know I've got to get better on that. I do apologize to you guys in advance, but I thought it was important to share my experiences and the changes that I am making to my business going forward. I am going to list everything from the oldest to the newest. I am not going to pick the cream of the crop type items out anymore. For instance, I have 3 VCRs, actually 2 VCRs I think, and actually 1 DVD VCR combo. I know they would sell extremely quickly. I could never keep those items in stock, but I haven't listed them because I've listed them more recently. I'm going to list them when I actually get to them. I'm not pulling them out. The only way I would have is if they would have been a brand and a model number that has been listed previously, and it would make it a generally overall quick listing. So that will hopefully help keep my sales stable over a long-term goal or environment, to be honest with you folks. It's important to try to keep your store or your business as stable as possible as far as sales. You don't want to put all of your best inventory up first and your sales explode overnight, and then 2 weeks or so later you're down 60%, 70% in sales, and you're like, what am I doing wrong? You're not really doing anything wrong. What happened is your cream of the crop or your prime products have sold. So you're now left with the good inventory, but more ordinary inventory. Inventory that may not be a super quick seller. It may not be sought after at that time of the year. Maybe trends have changed. So in general, that's why I've made that decision to list the oldest inventory first and to keep moving forward. If you guys noticed on my website recently, I was listing a whole bunch of coffee cups and mugs and things along that line. I was not enjoying listing that inventory. I have to be honest with you folks. It's inventory that I probably would have 100% set back. But you know what? I've already sold some of those products. I've learned something. I've learned that, hey, I've recouped some money out of these products. Also, by doing this as well, I found a Blue's Clues cup and I sold it for almost $30. It sold within just a few hours of listing it. I found out it was extremely rare. Honestly, I should have listed it even higher. I had one buyer that sent me a message offering me double what I had listed it for. I didn't do that. That's not right, to take and cancel a sale to one buyer because you made a mistake in your listing price. I honored that original sale. So do your research and decide what is best for your business. For me, I believe what's best is taking that oldest inventory first that I bought back in June instead of what I bought 2 weeks ago, and getting the oldest inventory listed first. Also, another listing technique or trick that I have started doing is I'll generally list like products at the same time. I've got, as you guys have seen in some of my videos, I've got numerous totes that are in my garage where I work on listing products. I'm sure you guys have seen that there's a bunch of black totes with yellow lids, and a lot of them are full of DVDs and VHS movies. I have literally hundreds and hundreds of these products. But I actually have them playing when I'm working on listing to make sure the products are in fully functioning and working condition. I don't want my customers to be burned. So what I do is I test them, and then once I get them tested, once I get, I'd say at least 8 up to maybe 12. There has been a few times I've done maybe 6. but I will list like 6, 8, or 10, something, whatever I have done and accomplished at that time. I'll list like products at the same time, like a whole bunch of VHS in a row, or a whole bunch of DVDs in a row, or a whole bunch of PlayStation 2 video games in a row. I still have a decent amount of them stored away as well. And what I found is by putting like products together, a lot of times buyers will realize, hey, he's got more games or more items that I may be interested in, and people will reach out to you and they'll possibly buy multiple items at the same time. That also helps to increase your sales. So keep all these tricks, well, honestly, I guess it's not really tricks, but keep all of these ideas in mind when you're taking and running your own business on e-commerce. Get away from me, B. These are all things that could possibly improve your sales or affect your sales positively or negatively in the future. I hope this information has been valuable to you, and I hope that you will consider subscribing and following along for more helpful content and more content of all types going into the future. I am trying to put videos out at least once every week to once every 2 weeks, depending on what I have going. So I greatly appreciate everyone that has subscribed and has followed along for my advice and just what I'm doing from day to day sometimes. Also consider following me on Instagram, which is Southwest Michigan Sales, or consider following me on Facebook as well. I would greatly appreciate it. And until the next time, we'll see you later. Peace out.